Hey, what's up, guys? So, the fun part about doing the show is you get the opportunity to train with people, you get the opportunity to see high caliber athletes who are making a name for themselves. And one of my favorite things to do is when these people come to try and rip my head off. Sometimes their jiu-jitsu is so good that we feel the need to bring them on here so that way if you don't know them, you should get to know them because you don't want to be the last person at the party. So if you don't know this next gentleman, I hope that you enjoy the next few minutes that we get to talk with him because I think he is he's got some good stuff that I think is coming up in the pipeline, and we've got some good tournaments that we'll be seeing him at yet. But if you do know him, then watch this because I'm going to make fun of him a whole bunch. But ladies and gentlemen, why don't we get to know a little bit better our good friend Cole Franson. Cole, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Raph.
Doing great. So right now you are, you just finished your day at college. You're 22. You're a college student. Are you a senior now or are you a junior? Where are you in your college journey?
Like a senior, but I'm basically a junior at Cal State Fullerton.
Don't worry, I've been there too. I understand how that goes. I drank a lot during my college years. I have a question for you. So you're doing jiu-jitsu and you're also competing a lot. What do your teachers tend to say when you go, oopie doopie, I got ADCC trials, so can I be gone for a week?
Oh, no, I don't miss a week of school or anything. Kind of have to, it goes around school a lot.
Okay,
Yeah,
so what are you doing? And don't mind me if I ask this question a little bit too rough, because don't you know you can just make all of your money from jiu-jitsu? So you're just kind of wasting your time in college.
That's how it feels right now. I have $1 million from doing small tournaments here and there. It's just
yeah, I know. It's a lucrative career.
Yeah.
But I mean, all we need to do is just start, Gordon Ryaning you out, and every time you win, you just got to call out somebody and get your best friends to put up 10K.
It'd be like if Michael Cera started calling people out. It wouldn't be like that intimidating. It'd be like, he doesn't really mean it.
Do you fancy yourself as the Michael Cera of the jiu-jitsu community?
A lot of people were saying that from the interview because I had the thinnest mustache ever.
Yeah, we should talk about that. So you decided it was a good idea to grow this pencil-thin mustache. Tell me about this decision you made and why did you do it?
There was a decision. It wasn't oh man, but I guess I have a lot of facial hair. I was shaving. It's I think I had a bit of it around, and then I shaved, and I was like, maybe I'll just keep this for a couple extra weeks, see how it goes. And I think I almost went a month and a half, and that was the max. And it was growing a little bit longer, especially on this side, almost just doing what's it called, a Fu Manchu?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I almost did one of those. Didn't like growing in the middle.
Okay, I can make these jokes to you because you've beaten me up several times, but did you try this in high school? Because that looked like the result of somebody who I don't want to say when puberty happened for you. I hope it has. But normally when the thing just happens here, that's the thing that happens at year 12 in one's life.
Not me. I think maybe 20.
So you said, okay, cool. I've never done this before. I have an idea. Right before I'm going to go compete at the Canadian Kumite, a very exclusive invitational up to our friends in the North, you said, what better way to show me off and get some intimidation factor than to, mini-stash it?
That's exactly. It was almost like intimidation factor. Either they're going to be like, whoa, that's a good mustache, maybe not fuck with him, or it's not a good mustache, and it's going to be an easy fight.
Okay, but then why did you shave it? Wouldn't the conventional wisdom be to keep it all the way through? What if people see you at the Canadian Kumite and they're like, who is that guy? I don't recognize him anymore.
Yeah, who is it? It was a grooming thing. It was just going to get really long, probably just long eyelashes down my mouth. I was try to just trim it with scissors or something. I was like, this is too much work for kind of a joke.
Well, kind of a joke is a long way here in jiu-jitsu. All right, now let's talk about something that's not a joke. You're actually quite a good practitioner. You're a brown belt. You're competing at this really, really cool invitational. We're going to get to talking about that in a second. But I want to ask you a little bit about how you got involved in jiu-jitsu because you're all of 22 and you're a brown belt. And I know many people who are not 22 and brown belts. Let's say that to begin with.
Okay.
But having rolled with you, you roll beyond your years. I think you have great style. I think you're very well finessed. So where does the journey begin for you for jiu-jitsu?
Like either when I was 13 or 14, it was like in the backyard on my trampoline with my friends doing like pro wrestling moves, and we were like slamming each other and trying to just like none of this stuff really works because it's like when do you actually try to stop it? It was like the submission was like the only thing you could kind of do, and then like they weren't really submission. It was just like us just like squeezing each other's heads or something, or like squeezing each other's arms. So then I think my older brother told me to start watching the UFC because he was like, dude, it's so cool, dude. It's super cool. And I was like, I don't know, man. Who was at the time that was like a good wrestler back in like
2004-ish or something is what you're
no,
thinking?
it's even like
Later, like 2007, 2008. Who was a good wrestler around that time?
Oh, Jeff Hardy and like Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, like that. So it was like, I was like, you know, they're not exciting as these guys. These guys dressed up in speedos and stuff. And then yeah, so then my brother. You good? You okay, Rob?
I'm okay. I'm thinking that your whole jiu-jitsu career is based on the fact that you saw some dudes in pro wrestling trunks and you're like, I don't know how long I'm going to go with this. It's still kind of okay.
Yeah.
I like Jeff Hardy. Matt Hardy not so much, but okay.
Yeah. And then yeah, I think I just started watching a couple fights here and there, and then my brother finally took me to jiu-jitsu at this one school in Fresno called Buhawe Martial Arts. It got closed down like after 6 months or something. So it was like I was there for 3 months. I really liked it, but my brother was taking me there, who was like having some problems to get me there and stuff. So that kind of like fell out. So then I started wrestling in high school, but real wrestling, not pro wrestling.
Whoa, first of all, rude. I don't really, I've let you go on enough to explain how you think that the submission moves do not work in pro wrestling. However, I just want you to acknowledge the fact that they do work. You just have to know how to do them.
That is true. You did put me in that one thing, and it hurt a lot.
It was a sharpshooter, and the only reason I put you in it is because you were A, being obnoxious, as good as you are at jiu-jitsu, and B, when someone's that flexible, there's only really one way to like fix that, and that's really just to sit on their back, because I
sit
really
on their
can't.
spine, not back. Spine.
No, and again, you can look at all of my testimonials. For the most part, I'll sit lower on the human being so that I don't hurt them. But when you were actively like, I felt like when your legs and you're trying to push out, I was like, no, fuck this kid. He's trying to get out of this. Ugh. Shit. And it was like, it like he can reverse this too well. The only way to stop him from doing this is to sit on his back. And I'm like, I wouldn't do that unless you were flexible. So really, it's your own fault.
I know. Sorry.
Well, sorry. Apologize to yourself. I mean, you basically put yourself in a sharpshooter. I was just the mechanism that did it.
I remember I was just letting him dangle there. You're like, all right. And then you just turned it around. I was like, you did a good job doing that transition. I was like, he's done this before.
Well, it's kind of my thing. You can be good at jiu-jitsu. That's fine. I have my own realm here. I do my own thing, and that's fine. Everybody's gifted in their own way. You berimbolo within seconds. It's kind of what you can do. But as you were mentioning, you started, so that place closed down. What happens to you next, and how do you continue doing it? Because if it's growing from pro wrestling, and I know we're joking, but I mean, a lot of people start that way where they see it's really cool and they get the idea that you could be a technical guy and really work that. And I think jiu-jitsu is the next medium where that really becomes a thing where, and I don't mean to put you on blast, but you're what, $140 wet? Yeah. With like rocks in your pockets? Like, you're not a giant dude.
No. So like the next thing after that, I started wrestling in high school, and then like did that for like a couple months, and then the season ended. Then I had to find jiu-jitsu again, so it's like I had to find a school. So then I find Fresno Kickboxing Academy, which is FKA, and it's now called Halo Jiu-Jitsu because my friend who owns it decided to switch the name because they don't do kickboxing anymore. So then I was there for a long time and just like not really progressing in my jujitsu and just kind of like it took me like so long to like really get the like flow of everything. Because like I used to like competing was like terrifying to me, and then also being like 100 pounds and like training in the adults class where you're just like, what are you supposed to do? They're just like pushing your legs behind your head.
So when you say adult class, how old were these people that you were training with?
They're like at least above like 18. I think I was like I was always the youngest person in the class. Like it was so weird. Like the academies like in like towns like that. It's such a different like feeling because like it would be like a whole new like line of people every week or something because they'll like join in, be like, oh wow, there's like 30 people here.
Yeah.
Next week there's no one, and then it's like a bunch of new people. And they're like, yeah, I moved to Alaska or something. Like you guys are just not staying in one spot or something, or people just don't like jiu-jitsu.
You guys have like adult problems like taxes and families, and it's like, bro, I just need to make it in time for my sandwich at home.
I usually ate ice cream before, and then
well, that'd be good. Again, now we're getting into the part where you said you were a fat kid. What was the fattest you ever got to?
So well, it was like fat, but like as a kid. So it was like probably like I was under 5 foot, but I was 120. So I didn't even have a growth spurt yet. So then I had my growth spurt, but then I was doing jiu-jitsu, so I never gained weight. So then it was like, yeah.
So as you're doing this, you know, you're going through jiu-jitsu in high school. What is that like? Because I missed out on that. I didn't do jiu-jitsu, obviously, as a kid. But I also didn't do wrestling in high school. So how does that feel? Like, do you feel a good sense of confidence? Because I know a lot of people end up getting bullied when you're going through high school. Does that change for you? Do you become the guy who, like, shows up in the 80s movie is like, excuse me, sweep the leg, save the lady, win the day?
I wish. Like, it was like, I was like real shy kid, so no one really knew I did jiu-jitsu because I was like, people going like, oh, you do karate, and then have to explain it to someone. I was like, I'm just gonna avoid that and just never talk about it. And then like I think I got one friend into it, and then so people started knowing that I did jiu-jitsu and like all that, and then they'd either be like, oh, that's cool, and never talk to me ever, or there's the other one where they're like, oh, okay, well, I want to fight this person. And you're like, all right, well, why? Like, I think there was like one person who did that, and most people just like, okay, whatever. Or they like thought you did UFC. It's just always a lot of explaining. It wasn't as glamorous as you think it was.
Well, I mean, I'd like to go back and insert that into my background and see how that would change my life. Maybe I would have made better decisions in my own life. But I just find it fascinating because I know that when I didn't have that background in wrestling, it made my transition into jiu-jitsu way more difficult. So what were your biggest challenges? Obviously being a smaller guy, and you said it took you a while to click. So what were your biggest challenges, and when did you finally figure out that you were addicted to this?
I knew I was addicted to it like right away. Like it was something I could do. I felt comfortable on the mat. It was like, because I remember I had like like a talk in my head. I was like, I want to do this the rest of my life. I don't know how, but I just want to like. It was not like I wanted to go compete and stuff. I was like, I just want to roll on the mat every day. So then, like, I kind of had a conversation with myself, talking about maybe I should just what's it called, like, open an academy. I was like, how do I get people to the academy? It's like you got to win tournaments. You got to have good jiu-jitsu. So then, I think that kind of turned everything on for me. Because I had a real problem like competing or like applying my game and stuff. I was always like kind of in that state of limbo. I think everyone gets in between white and blue belt, where you're like, I don't know if I do jiu-jitsu or not. Like, it's been like a couple of years, 5 years. You're like, I don't know jiu-jitsu. But then I started competing. That was like the main thing that helped me go like, oh, this is how you gotta apply stuff. You just gotta do it. You gotta do it against people you don't know who you really just don't know what they're gonna do. So
it's a good aptitude test always. So that's got to be a big help. But I mean, obviously that changed because you've gone from being that person who's like, oh man, competing, to like, I think I booked 3 more tournaments and I don't know how I did it, but I guess I got to go compete 5 more times before the year's end. So when did that happen, and why did that happen?
So like I was like in college for I think a year, and I like slowed down on my competition, and I think I was a light feather too before that, and then I gained weight and went up a weight class, and then like just got like depressed. I think I had a friend die that year, so I just kind of like really kind of like fell apart and just kind of like almost got off the track of because when I was coming into from high school, like my senior year of high school, I was doing 2-a-days, and I was like, man, I really want to train. And then like I got into college, and then I kind of went off the track where I was like only training once a day, and then going to competing like once like a year. And then I had to talk to my professor Mauricio, and he told him, because like I didn't see like what was wrong. I was like, why am I not doing good in jiu-jitsu anymore? And he was like, you're not training or competing anymore. It's like I like completely forgot about it. And then like I think my first tournament I decided to just do was like the American Nationals 2014. I got tapped out in the gi, but then no gi. I won my match, and then I got third in the absolute. So that like kind of got like a positive feeling from like competing and stuff. So I was just like, okay, I like this part of the competition. I didn't like the getting out part, but I like the part where like I get to hang out a little bit longer.
You show me one person who really and honestly likes getting tapped out in competition, and yeah, I'll call them a liar, because I love the fact, I do believe that there is a great win or learn element to it, but competitive jiu-jitsu is a different beast for those who speak in that language. You're there, and I see so many athletes who get so in that world that it's a mental game, you know? So if you don't have that right mentality going through it, you make it so much harder for yourself, so that when you get those small gains, it becomes an addictive drug. I compare it to me performing. Like, I like performing because I like the ability to make people laugh, and I like to do these kind of interviews. And I know that I want to chase that next high. So I think it's a matter that we're all kind of adrenaline junkies in one way or another.
Chase the dragon, yeah.
Chase the dragon. What kind of drugs are they giving you at school now? So, okay. All right. We're going to pivot over to the Canadian Kumite, but I want to understand, you are now training, and I believe you're teaching. Where is this? Is this down in Fullerton?
I did a little teaching there. I had to stop because I was competing so much. But I train at a Chinguia Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
I can never say that name. I apologize so much to you and your academy, because I swear I look at that name and I go, it's designed to fail for people to read it. Do people misread it all the time?
There's a video one of my friends made of having his friends read that name, and they all missay it.
Oh, no.
Tijuana? Tanjuina? And like I even said it because my first coach, he's like an affiliate. He was the student under Chinguia, so he'd be like, and he was like an old Mexican guy. He'd be like, "It's Chinguia, it's Chinguia, Cole, it's Chinguia." Like I was like, I can't understand what he's saying, and then I get there, it's Tengia. So then like I still have that problem saying Shengia too.
So walk me through it. It's not okay. So forget Shingia, okay?
Yeah,
it's Tengia.
Tengia.
Okay, I did that.
Tengiha.
Tengiha? Okay. Because I know, like, sometimes the Brazilian and the Spanish in me, they get a little bit mixed.
Oh, yeah.
So whenever, people are talking about Harambe, I'm thinking about it in the Hispanic way of, like, Harambito? I love Harambito. He's great, man. It sucks that they killed him, It's like that poor kid. He was a good guy, He was a cholo. Everybody knows that. That was for all the people who loves the Harambes still. I don't know. Those memes are still killing, and it's been like 4 months, and it makes me wonder if it's ever going away.
They're getting stronger, too. They're getting very...
it's terrifying, and I blame somebody like Gary Tonin, but... Gary
Tonin, for sure. Did you see that one photo of, like... Where did I see it? Like, I think his sister showed a photo of him kissing like when he was a kid, kissing like a stuffed monkey. the Simba, no, the baboon from Lion King.
Yeah.
He's like, his love for Harambe started way young.
Oh God, I hate Gary Tonin. He's the fucking worst. All right, well, Gary's not competing at the Canadian Kumite, but you are, and I think that's rad. It is a how many man invitational?
16 man, brown and black.
Woo. Okay, so how did you find your way into that? Because I have privy knowledge to knowing how you go after wanting to be included in tournaments because you're one of those insanes. But how did you get involved in the Canadian Kumite? Because it's in a different country, you know that, right? Like,
Yeah, I had to get my passport for that.
oof.
What's it called? I was on Facebook and I posted a photo from when I did another 16-man brown and black belt tournament when I was a purple belt, and I got like second at it. And I was like, I want to do this again. I want to do like a cool like special only tournament, brown and black belt tournament. And then Kat Clark, the guy who runs Submission Series, which is the Canadian Kumite, he like messaged, he just commented, interesting. And then I messaged him, or did I? He messaged me. We got in contact somehow, and he was like, yeah, I want to put you on the card on the West Coast. So then, like, he was trying to figure out a way to get me on the card. He's like thinking of some things, and I kept bothering because I was like, I wanted to compete. I wanted to do like a cool competition. And then he was like, you know what? You just want to do the Canadian Kumite. It's like Rustum's gonna be there, a bunch of other people are gonna be there. Oh yeah, Oliver Taza. I was like, yeah, I definitely want to do it. It's like you don't get many opportunities to go against them, so I was like, yeah, just put me on the card. I don't care. Like I didn't like know how I was gonna get there, but then I like figured it out.
But you and I have very different responses to wanting to roll with Rustum.
Well, it's like that was kind of like the one of the things that had it like get me better at like competing and stuff was like going against the top people, because I used to complain and be like, oh, there's no good guys at my gym or something. There's no world champions at my gym. And then it was like, you could go train with them. You just have to pay $100 to go train with them. You only get one shot. You only get one shot to do it.
I love the fact that not only are you referencing Eminem, so you got one shot.
I didn't realize that, but
Oh,
yeah.
I realize it. I know where your references come from,
Yeah.
even if you don't. But second, I love that this has become like the ultimate pyramid scheme of like, no, dude, you come in, you compete, and then you bring two more people, and it's like, dude, don't worry. By
It's like
the
an
time
open
you
mat.
do that,
It's like an open mat, but you only get one shot.
you get one round, but that's no big deal. But then if you get other people to come compete, and you tell people all the time, it's like, you got to compete, and then like they're in on it too, then you get like a sponsorship. So like, it just takes care of itself. That's our financial model in jiu-jitsu.
Well, you get a sponsorship, but really you have to buy their product and say you're sponsored until they start giving you product. But you don't get money yet, and then you...
Speaking of which, are you sponsored? Should we be taking care of any of those people?
My friend at Moscova, they hooked me up with some nice tidy whities, or nice cool underwear. And then Movement PT,
Nice.
they help me out a lot. They're, what's it called? Physical therapy people.
Those are the people you want to keep. Every time I see people who talk about having like physical therapy and stuff like that as that, I just don't know why more people don't have chiropractors supporting them and doing that, because I feel like we must be giving them business. So it'd be nice to make some of that coin back every once in a while.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to compete in this. There's obviously some big names announced and involved. I think it's great that you want to be a part of it because it is highly challenging. I feel like, you know, you're going in there, you're one of the smaller guys. Is there anybody smaller than you in the competition?
There was Darson Hemming, but I'm pretty sure he got injured. He might have been the one that got injured this week or something.
Okay.
But me and him were like exact same size. So now I'm pretty sure I'm the smallest person in the tournament now.
Well, congratulations on that. I hope you make
Hopefully I
weight.
get a medal for that.
Yeah. You get a participation medal for being smallest guy when they do the...
It's like a trophy, but with like a little tiny person on it.
They just cut off like half of the other trophy
Half a
and they just
person.
give it to you. Okay, so you're excited about that. That comes, I believe that's October 8th.
Yes, October 8th, this Saturday, or whenever this comes out. When does this come out?
It'll come out in the next couple days, kid. When?
Okay.
So it's the, October 8th. What time is it here for us on the real time, like here on the Pacific time?
Everyone's asked me that, and I have not decided to look it up. Let me look it up
What's
right
wrong
now.
with you?
Because I'm gonna be there, and they're like, I'll know.
Cat
when
Clark
time it is.
Didn't put you on a card to just sit back and lollygag.
I know. I've
Cat
been doing
Clark-
a lot of promotions. Like,
Give me a second. Clack Cat, listen, you and I know each other. This dipshit didn't have the good faith to tell the people here on the Pacific time what time they should be watching. Do you really want this kid to be on your card anymore?
Take me off.
Listen, I'm not saying I have a lot of pull, but Cat, you make your own decisions at this point, okay?
If Cat takes me off, you got to replace me. You know that, right?
Yeah, that'll be real fun. You should know that I always keep a gi in my bag if I ever do commentary, because I have a deep-seated fear that any tournament that I put together will lose somebody. So I'm not afraid to Vince McMahon my way into a show. Now, granted, I will not do well, but like I'm going to be the best buy-around anybody's ever had.
All right, so I have the time. It's, I think, it's 7 o'clock on the East Coast, and then, so is that 1 o'clock on the Pacific time?
You are going to college, sir. How do you not know these things?
Am I wrong?
You said East Coast at 7 p.m., right?
Yeah.
What's the difference between Pacific Coast and East Coast time?
Is it 3 hours or 6 hours?
It's 3. Where do you think it's 6 hours?
I don't know. Maybe I got mixed up with my flight and stuff.
Oh my god.
But okay, it's 3 hours, so then that's better. 4 o'clock.
Everybody,
4
in case you were
Pacific
wondering
time.
why Cole is staying an extra year or two at college, I think now you
That's
understand.
the one question that they won't let me get.
We get down to the bottom of things here, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk after this. You've got that coming up, which I'm so excited to see you as part of it because, again, I think that your jiu-jitsu is great. I think it's great that you're challenging yourself. You're a very solid brown belt. We put you in the company of some of the best people that we've rolled with here on the podcast, so we like seeing that. Obviously, after that, then we've got No-Gi Worlds coming up, I believe the top of November.
Yep.
And that's going to be over in NorCal, and that's kind of where you're from, or where exactly are you from?
I was born and raised in Clovis, California, which is Fresno.
Okay.
Yeah. So then, but my family lives up in San Francisco, where the tournament's going to be.
Hey, that's got to be easy room and board, so that's good.
Very easy.
Hey, that's good. All right, so then you got that. Then ADCC trials in Jersey. Now, how excited about this are you?
I'm very excited, but it's like not official because I need to like make money to go there. But like if I get there, I definitely want to like compete against like top guys because I heard Eddie Cumming is supposed to be competing there. Mm-hmm. Even though I thought like maybe he would be like getting automatically to ADCC with like his wins at EBI and stuff, but
yeah, I don't know how that process works. I've tried to have people explain it to me, and I swear to God, every 2 years this happens without fail. I go, how does ADCC work? And they go, oh, it's the secret society where they like pull things out of a thing, and they just kind of pull it out, and then they get the competitors. And I was like, okay, cool. Then like 2 years later, I go, hey, how does ADCC work? Oh, see, they just make a list, and then like on the list, they cut it in half. And then they just like send roses to half of the people. And that's how they figure it out. I'm like, is this The Bachelor or is this ADCC? I don't know.
Yeah.
I just tore up a paper I really needed. That was really smart.
It looked like a nice piece of paper too.
Thank you. They are the most exquisite pieces of paper one can have. All right, so
okay.
So what is the problem though? Like what is keeping you from getting out there then?
Well, like being a full-time college student and a full-time competitor, you're not making much money. And then also, like, the people who support me the most are, like, my parents. They've helped me, like, get to tournaments and do all this other stuff. But this one's, like, asking a lot of them.
Yeah.
So it's, like, I need to start, like, raising money for myself to get out there. And it's, like, it's not hard to do that. It's just, like, to get because I teach privates on the side, which is, like, my main way of making money. And, like, not many people really go for the privates either. They're just like think it's too expensive. I think that's a lot of things because people ask me the price, and they're kind of it's not that expensive. Like I hear a lot of people give like $100 privates or something. It's like mine are like $60, and then people at my school get like $40 privates. It's like an hour of me teaching and stuff.
And like, how do you run your privates? Is it, I mean, a lot of people come in with the mentality of doing questions, like they come in like with something they want to work on. You kind of develop something. Do you talk to them beforehand, and do you just kind of like figure out what it is they might be interested in? Like, how is it that you do your privates?
Yeah, so usually I talk to them beforehand. So if they're like, "Oh, I'm not sure. I just want to improve my game," which is like it sounds vague, but it's like I know how to do that because you're like I just start rolling with them, and then if I see something wrong, then I'm like, okay, we just go back to the small detail and show them that. And that works a lot because they like it because it's like little details that like make the whole move.
Mm.
And I show them like because I don't have to teach them the whole move over and over and like reroute what they're already doing, what they already know. It's just like, oh, you just missed this part, and then it completes the move for them.
And that's, I mean, honestly, when I rolled with you, the thing I liked watching about you beat the living shit out of me is I'm watching the miniature details because I'm so fascinated. When I'm rolling with people, I'm trying to learn as much as I can about what it is they do that's unique and different. And, you know, you weren't exactly doing one thing unique. You were doing multiple things unique, which makes the moves all the more efficient and why it chains together so well. So for me, if you aren't doing any one of those things correctly, it could spell disaster or doom, especially for your size. So that's why we get really excited when we see people who not only love the sport of jiu-jitsu and have a purity for it, but who really understand the importance of those fundamentals and chaining the smallest aspects together. So if you guys are looking for a private, I would highly recommend it. Cole is super talented. I think here's the thing. This is the thing we try and tell people to sell them before they realize shit's going to get hectic. If this kid wins the Canadian Kumite, those rates are probably going to go up. So I don't know if you guys do the stock market, but you know the whole adage of like buy low, sell high. Buy the privates now, so that way when he gets too famous, you can discard him and find the younger, cheaper version of Cole. Maybe the Mexican version. Like there's a 16-year-old version of him in Mexico that you can get for dirt cheap in a few years. But for now, take advantage of this kid because honestly, if you're talking about comparison on market price, you know, yours is economically priced. And the fact that you're willing to do a deal for the name of your gym?
Chingia BJJ.
Ah, see, you said Chin.
Chingia. It's hard not to.
You're trying to screw me up here, and I know that.
I'll say it because I go back to that other way. I have to like force her to say Tingia. It's like Chingia.
That's good. And just to give an idea, like what is it that you feel that you do unique in terms of jiu-jitsu that maybe other people don't play as much?
I feel like what you kind of said is like the little details I do, like because I'm a small guy, I can't like out-muscle people a lot of the time, so I have to figure out ways to like armbar someone without like trying to rip their arm off or something. It's like I have to do like little things to like weaken the guy's arm, go for their weak points and like expose them and stuff.
My favorite is, you know, we started the roll and like 2 seconds into the roll, you know when you feel somebody out and you're not at all trying to murder me, but like within seconds you already have like this kiss of the dragon back take and I'm like, well, this is happening. Oh, I'm about to fall now. All right, well, it's been fun, everybody. But as that happens, you want that. You want that person to be doing that with you because those are the small techniques and things that you tend to pick up a little bit more. So if people want to do those privates, where can they get in contact with you?
Contact me on Facebook. Add me as Cole Franson, FRANSON. And then hit me up on Instagram at Cole_Franson_BJJ.
You couldn't get regular Cole Franson there?
I probably could have. I didn't think about that.
You didn't think of that.
I really thought of that, though, man.
Is there another Cole Franson I don't know about that I should be interviewing?
There are a couple other Cole Fransons, but I think I'm the only one in jiu-jitsu.
I was about to say, I was like, dude, you need to corner the market. That's why, I know that there's going to be other Raphaels, but, I've got Raph as far as a down.
Yeah.
The next Raph has got to be really annoying to take my spot as the interview guy. But there are a lot of people named Hoffa, and that always makes you feel real nervous about people. Because when I walk into a gym...
I think people now start using Hoffa because of Hoffa Mendes. I think everyone's Raphael, and they're like, oh, Hoffa Mendes doing it. Let's call everyone.
But you understand how difficult that is for somebody like me? When I go to, say, a Worlds or a Pans, and someone yells out Hoffa, and you turn around out of instinct, and then you're like, oh, you meant Hoffa Mendes. Okay. Or you walk around, and people go, Raphael, and I was like, oh, that's my full name. What's up? Oh, that's Rafael Lovato, the important people. Sorry, everybody. I'm just here.
Just wear a name tag that says Raph.
I mean, yeah, but normally I found that at those things, if people are yelling out "Raf," I really don't want to talk to them because it's usually really angry. Like they've heard something on the podcast, they're like, "We got something to talk about." Raf.
Your fans.
Nah, fans get unruly. Like that's the beautiful part about doing the shows is you're very affable. You're usually approachable, but then people tell you exactly how they feel. They'll come up to you and be like, "That last episode sucked. You suck." Boom, roasted. Got you. No, we love our fans. They're actually very nice. So, all right, Cole. Well, I can't thank you enough for stopping by. Obviously, we want to get you back to, I guess, resting, recuperating. I know you got packing to do for the rest of this week. Obviously, I can't endorse this enough. If you guys are looking for a great private, Cole does a really good job. I know all the guys at my gym benefited from him coming there, and he works so well with so many particular different types of guys at my gym that when I see him compete, it's not really a question why he's doing so well. So we wish you the best, man. I know that you're going to do well at the Canadian Kumite, and I know that you will continue to rep it well because, again, you're all of 22. So, yeah, you're not even at the peak of your athletic career. So keep on doing it, man. Can we take care of any shout-outs before we get you on out of here?
Shout out to John Freeman. Stop doing the steroids, man. It's not cool.
Have we proven that he's done steroids yet?
It's definitely proven. He beat me. He beat me because he was on steroids.
Oh, I didn't know that you guys.
When I was 16, we're both 16.
Yeah,
Just juiced to the gills. John Freeman comes out at 140 pounds.
I love making fun of that kid. He does look like he's on steroids, though. And I told you this off air, but it's 100% true. I definitely put the Nate Diaz, like, you're on steroids on his wall. And I stand by that. Prove it.
Pee in a cup for us.
Well, that's the worst soundbite I think I could take away from this interview. I'm going to go ahead and kill this before we do it.
Go ahead.
Once you get to pee in a cup, it's time to... I want to thank Cole Franson for stopping by. Cole, you're a great guy. Again, we wish you the best, man.
A lot of fun.
All right, guys, keep it locked here at Verbal Tapcast for more interviews like this, as well as other nonsense that's coming up. We've got a few things coming up. Verbal Tapcast is turning 4 years old in a couple months, and also we're about to hit our 200th episode. So keep a lookout for those things. It's going to be very exciting. This is Rafa Esparza, your friendly neighborhood talk show host, saying, have a good one, guys.